Hello everyone and welcome to It Goes Off Wrap of the Week. And round 7, Grantley Bernard, it was a round that the Cairns Taipans came back as an NBL force.
They sure did. A 2-0 weekend for the Taipans and did get them back on track. 4-4 now and in the top 4.
Excellent. Well, talk us through all the winners and losers.
Well, it did start off with the Taipans against the Kings on the Thursday night. The Sydney Kings 67, the Taipans 85. Kazoo and Magin put the score on the board for the Kings, but it was Warren and Wilson who responded for the Taipans. The Taipans were 16 of 17 on free throws in this one. The Kings shot at just 38% for the game from the field, 25 of 65. And they gave up 26 points in the second quarter and 23 in the fourth. For the Taipans, there was really nothing spectacular about their performance except that they just shot the ball better than the Kings. The Melbourne Tigers went to the top of the ladder, albeit briefly, after beating the Perth Wildcats 87-82 at the cage on Friday night. Ubaka with 23 points on 5 of 7 field goals and 11 of 12 freebies. Trigar with 22 points for the Tigers. The Wildcats, Knight and Robbins were their big performers. The Tigers got this one done with a 52-32 second half. It was a close game and the Tigers made 6 more free throws, and that was crucial as they came back from 21 points down in the second quarter. The Wildcats shot at just 38% from the field and lost their momentum with an 11-point third quarter. Gold Coast Blaze continued their good form with an 87-75 home win over the Crocs. De Leon and Petrie had 37 points between them for the Blaze. For the Crocs, it was Cedar, Gill and Holmes. The Blaze shot only 14 of 23 on free throws. That's just 61%. Still managed to win by 12. And they did score exactly 6 more 2-point field goals over the game, and that was the exact difference at the buzzer. The Crocs converted 13 points off turnovers, but gave up 10 more points in the paint. The Adelaide 36ers scored only their second win of the season when they upset the Melbourne Tigers 95-89. Stephen Way with a big game, 24 points, and Diamond Simpson with another double-double of 18 points and 12 rebounds. Paddy Mills had a season-high 32 points for the Tigers in what proved to be his farewell performance. Trigger Trigar, consistency, 18 points on 9 of 13 field goals. The 36ers battered the Tigers on the boards 49-31. The Sixers got 20 points from second chances and turnovers. The Tigers only had 8 in those categories. The Tigers actually only had 8 turnovers for the game, but they couldn't close it out when they had the chance. Up in far north Queensland, the Cairns Taipans finished their 2-0 weekend with an 80-78 win over the Breakers. Alex Loughton with a big game, 22 points, and Andrew Warren, the import who was under pressure, came through with 21 points, 11 rebounds for the Breakers, Abercrombie and Corletto. The Taipans shot the ball well, 28 of 55 from the field and 8 of 17 on threes. Aside from Loughton and Warren, Jamal Wilson had 20 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and the last go-ahead basket of the game as Cairns closed it out with a 24-14 final quarter. For the Breakers, Corletto had a shot to win it with 3 seconds left, but it was not to be, and they have now lost 2 in a row. Finally, the Wollongong Hawks 70, the Perth Wildcats 86. Glover and Foreman just sneaked into double figures for the Hawks, and for the Wildcats, Redditch with a big game that was due, and Matt Knight. The Hawks were 18 of 19 on free throws and the Wildcats only 4 of 8, but the discrepancy didn't matter. The Hawks continually gave the ball back to Perth with 24 turnovers. The Wildcats had 5 players in double digits, only 9 turnovers, and they had almost 30 more field goal attempts for the game than the Hawks.
Well, once again, a very comprehensive and thorough wrap-up of round 7 that Grantley Bernard you've provided for us all. And you'd have to say it's a disappointing round with the loss of Paddy Mills, but one thing's for sure, I don't know of any competition in the world that has such parity between all the clubs when last place is so close to top place as far as the opportunity to get a win. But let's see how that all shapes up as far as the NBL ladder is concerned. And at the top of the table, We've got some familiar faces that had some ups and downs over the weekend. The Perth Wildcats at 6-3, Melbourne Tigers equal top at 6-3. The New Zealand break is just faltering a little bit on the road. And the Cairns Taipans, that's the story of round 7 with 2 very, very good wins. And the Blaze starting to make some noise. The Gold Coast Blaze have got the tools to win the whole box and dice from what we saw on the weekend. Crocs hanging in there. Kings showing how variable they can be. Hawks and Sixers just starting to lose touch with the leaders, but still capable of competing against the absolute very best. There it is. That's round 7 for a full and complete coverage of all the goings on, not just for round 7, but across the entire NBL. Check out the full version of It Goes Off.